Hello, beautiful manifestors. It is Olivia Grace, and I'm back with another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a couple of SP success stories and expanding on how to create a change within your SP. This is a video request by Sierra, so I wanted to create this video for you and just congratulate you for being a young manifester, taking control of your life so early. I'm so proud of you. All right, you guys. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Before I do get started, I am Olivia Grace. This is the Master Manifestors channel. Here, I talk about the law of assumption, and my intention with these videos and with my coaching and mentorship is to help you and assist you in realizing your God self through bringing in your greatest desires. So if that sounds interesting to you, then subscribe, like the video, comment, share it with someone you think it will help. I am enrolling for a couple of group programs as well as my one-on-one mentorship for January. We are starting in a little, I think maybe like 10 days or so. So it's really exciting. I'm so excited to help people create amazing shifts in their lives and most importantly, recognize this amazing power that is within them and always available to you. Okay. All right, so yes, you guys can email me. There's info in the description about the programs, and you can email me about whichever one that you're interested in. So let's get started with the video. Now, I do have a Shift Your SP video, which I believe this is what Sierra was requesting me to make another one like this. In that video, it's like a Shift Your SP in 20 minutes. I'll put it up here for reference. And people got incredible results from just watching that video. So I'm going to be talking about how to do that again, and just giving you guys a little real life examples of how this works. Okay. So I'm going to start with my client's story because it's just extremely inspiring. Of course, I got her permission to share this. I'm going to call her Katie. I don't think I've ever worked with a Katie. Anyways, okay. So Katie, Katie basically was manifesting an SP. Katie lives in the US. Her SP lives in Alaska, and they were in no contact for a few months. So when Katie came to me, she was saying that she had tried to manifest SPs in the past and worked with other coaches in the past and had not been able to get any results, which is a thing in itself, but I'll cover that later. And yeah, but within, I would say about 2 weeks, I had shifted her into the God state of really understanding that she's the God of her reality. Nothing is being controlled outside of her, right? And basically what ends up happening, the last session we had before she actually got in contact with her SP, she told me like a few sessions before that one that she wanted to manifest being with him for New Year's. Now, mind you, like I said, he's in Alaska, she's in the US, they're in no contact, right? This is literally right before Christmas because I was about to go out of town. I was actually already out of town. So this is like a couple of days or a day before Christmas Eve. And she says on Christmas Eve, she was feeling like, I'm not quite sure, like if this is going to work out, like if this is going to happen. She was actually planning like a plan B in case it didn't happen. Cause she's like, okay, like just being real. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this time. It doesn't look like we're going to spend New Year's together. Well, she ends up getting the impulse on Christmas to send him a Merry Christmas text. And he responds, and that response turns into hour-long conversations on the phone. And that conversation turns into him buying a plane ticket to come to the US to spend New Year's with her in a few days. So it was incredible. A few things that I would want to highlight is that, number one, these things happened, I want to say, within 2 months, maybe 3. I believe it was, yeah, it's been about 2 months. I'm not sure exactly the time. But I want to highlight a few things about this story. This client really transformed her identity of herself, right? Because she had felt attached to a story before that was like, I'm unlucky in love, right? I'm unlucky in love. But realize, you guys, those of you who have stories around yourself and excuse me, those of you who have stories around yourself and love, or yourself in anything, that this is just what it's been like. This is just what it is for me because this is what it's been like. You do not have to continue to subscribe to that, period. You just don't. Okay? Every moment is new. You're new in every moment. You're reborn into every moment. You can decide now that you're no longer that version of yourself, and therefore your experience with love is different. Okay? And this is what my client did. She was also a really excellent student. She was a great listener. And even though she would have her fears and her doubts, she would still persist. She would still trust the process, right? And still, I feel like the best thing that she did was really understand and know her power, right? And that is fundamental, especially when it comes to this SP stuff, you guys. Know your power, okay? But I'm going to get into that. So that's the first success story. Amazing. He's flying in. They're spending New Year's together, just like she said, even though literally the day before it happened, right? I was just talking about this on a live. The day before it happened, she was questioning whether it could or not, right? Whether it would or not. And she said, as she was making the plans, the backup plans, she heard me in her head saying, who is deciding that? Who is deciding that it's probably not going to work out? That it's probably not going to happen? Who's deciding that? You're deciding that, right? And it's like, if they are both true, the reality where they spend New Year's together and where they don't, give attention to the one where they do. It's nothing stopping it from being true other than what you're deciding, okay? All right, now, I have another success story. This is an instant manifestation story. I told this in like a live and in my Discord at the time because it was such a instant, perfect reflection of changing someone in the moment, okay? And getting immediate results. So for this story, I was sitting on my couch and I was thinking to myself how I wanted my SP to get me flowers, right? And at the time, like as soon as I thought that, I was like, well, that's not usually like his gift of choice, right? It's not that he doesn't get me things, but usually like my previous association with him was he's not a random flower pop-up type of guy, right? And as I was thinking that, I was like, that's an assumption. I'm making that assumption. I thought even further, like, okay, if I were to receive some flowers, I don't even have a vase to put flowers in. That's how deep my assumption of not receiving flowers is, right? So I thought to myself, no, if I'm assuming that, then I can just assume differently that he does. He always brings me flowers. Within 10 minutes, you guys, he walks through the door with flowers. And they were like mini flowers in a little vase, right? In their own vase. Because I was thinking about, I don't have a vase. So had he brought me like the full blown flowers, I wouldn't have anything to put it with. No, of course the manifestation had to be perfect. So he bought me some like a mini bouquet in a mini vase. He actually had bought me like a little basket. I believe this was around Halloween. And he bought me like a little stuffy and some candy and a pumpkin and all this stuff and put it in like a little basket for me. And the stuffy, I had manifested that too, not on purpose. He had given me a stuffy years ago and it was like flat because I sleep on it. And I had just casually thought that morning, like, it'd be nice. Like I need another one. And he just happened to buy it that day. But here's the trippier part, you guys. So he walks in with this basket with these flowers. And of course I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was just thinking about this. I literally manifested this. And he says to me, what's funny is as I was walking through the store, picking out your items for your basket, I thought, I bet she's manifesting this. I bet she's manifesting this. So it's like, he said, if she's manifesting it, it's working because I'm doing it. So the reason why I want to tell that story again in this video is because I want to highlight a few things, okay? At the time that he was picking out the things, that he was creating the basket for me, picking out these miniature flowers, which now that I think about it, I've never seen a mini bouquet of flowers in a vase, but whatever. At the time that he's literally creating this for me, I am thinking of it. I'm thinking, ooh, right? Now, let's go back to the beginning of that story. I could have said, I want some flowers, but he never brings me flowers. He never brings me flowers. Oh my God, he's such an a-hole. What kind of guy is that? I could have went all into that, right? And it's his fault. He doesn't bring me flowers. And then he might even have an inkling, oh, that would be nice, but now I'm in a rush, and not done it, right? But because I decided right then, right? No, he does. He brings me flowers. He always brings me flowers. He had the spark, the idea to go ahead and buy the flowers, okay? And buy the basket. Similar thing with my client. She says that her SP said that he already was sort of thinking about coming to the US, right? To come and spend New Year's. But even if he was already thinking that, we already know it's like a few days before New Year's. But her decision, right? He was thinking about it. He was, oh, maybe, maybe not. This is her on Christmas Eve. Oh, we'll spend it together. Oh, let me put some backup plans. Okay. This is how it works, you guys. Your decision inspires their decision. It's not about you forcing that, right? Because what a lot of people see changing people as is, oh, I have to make them be like this, right? I can still know that they're not like that, and I'll affirm that they are like that and they'll be like that. No. You are changing your idea in your own mind, right, about this person. And that gives them the opportunity and the space to show up differently. So let's get into these tips on how to do this yourself, okay? Okay. First thing is to acknowledge that you are the creator, okay? Acknowledge that you are the creator. This is probably like one of the biggest hindrances that I see is that either people don't want to take responsibility for how someone is showing up, or they kind of do, but kind of don't, right? It's all of that. Like, if you think that there's some other outside force that is making this person be like that, or that's just the way that they were born, that's just the way that they are, that's all that they have to offer, then like, if that's how you're feeling about them, they can't show up differently because you have basically trapped them in that state. You have said, this is all that you can be. This is all that I can see for you. This is what it is. And so that's what it's going to be, because not because that's all that they can be, but because they have to confirm your assumption about them. Okay. Now, acknowledging that you are the creator is what allows you to persist. Okay. It's what allows you to persist. In both my client and my own story, we had a moment of, maybe that won't happen. Right. And if we had left it up to the past or to what made sense or to anything like that, it wouldn't have happened, right? If she was to say, well, it's Christmas Eve, I haven't heard from him, I guess it's not going to happen, it wouldn't have happened, right? If I was to say, yeah, he just doesn't buy me flowers, that sucks, he wouldn't have done it, okay? That's just the way that it is, then that's just the way it is then, right? But no, acknowledge, this is my creation, right? When I said to myself, me thinking he doesn't really bring me flowers, that is an assumption. That's an assumption. It's not because he's hardwired to not bring me flowers, okay? It's an assumption that I have. And if it's an assumption that I have, it's an assumption that I can change, okay? But y'all, I cannot emphasize enough how powerful and important it is to understand and acknowledge that you are the creator. Another thing that trips people up with that is like, I don't know how I created that. I don't know how I created him to be a narcissist or to be an asshole, or I don't know how I created all these guys to treat me like this. It doesn't matter, you guys. It does not matter, okay? What matters is, what are you creating now? What are you deciding now? Who are you being now? That's all that matters, right? Who are you being now? It does, like, so many people try to spend time on figuring out, like, oh, well, I need to figure out the moment that I created this person to be an a-hole to me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You keep focused on what you're deciding now, okay? You keep focused on what you're deciding now. All right. Drop the old identity of them, okay? Drop the old identity. For instance, I'm going to use my example again. If I had the thought, oh, he's going to bring me flowers now. If I drag the old identity into the new decision, if I say, oh, he's going to bring me flowers, and then I'm like, oh, wait, no, he never brings me flowers. So why would he bring me flowers now? That doesn't make sense, right? This is what we're doing. Oh, well, my SP is non-committal. Why would he commit to me now? Because you said so. That's why, right? Because you said so. It's not anything that you have to say to them, right? But you are dropping the version of them that is non-committal. You're dropping the version of them that doesn't bring you flowers. You're dropping the version of them that doesn't want to talk to you. You are letting that version go. That's not the version that I'm deciding is in my reality anymore. That's not the version that is showing up for me anymore. It's this version now. But dropping the old identity, you guys, is huge. It's huge, okay? Because it's what allows you to persist. When you're trying to persist in a happy, loving relationship, but you still think that your SP is still a toxic POS, right? And you're like, oh, I'm trying to manifest this happy relationship, but the way that I view him, the way that I know him to be is still a toxic POS. Those two ideas conflict. How can you be in a happy relationship with a toxic POS? I'm sorry. I usually would just say the curse word, but I'm just feeling like saying that. But how can you be in a happy relationship with someone that you believe is a toxic POS, right? You can't. That's why it's so hard for you to persist. That's why it's hard for you to stay focused on the new story, because your current story about them is completely an opposite, right? It's in opposition to what you want. So drop the new or drop the old and choose and persist in the new identity for them and for yourself. Okay? Self-concept. It's not going to slip by. All right? It's like I said in the beginning about my client. She had a self-concept that said, I'm unlucky in love, right? That self-concept can't bring you really what you want in love, right? So her deciding now, no, I'm desirable, I'm wanted, I'm chosen, reflected that in her experience, right? So your identity, I'm going to explain this briefly about self-concept, because a lot of people would say, why am I attracting narcissists then? I'm not a narcissist, right? You may not be a narcissist, but you may be the puzzle piece that fits perfectly with a narcissist, okay? Narcissists only care about themselves. If you're a person who doesn't care about yourself and cares about everybody else, guess what? You're a perfect fit, okay? You're a perfect fit. If there's a guy who's a toxic cheater and cheats and does all this stuff, and you're like, but I'm faithful, I don't see why I'm with him, but you're allowing it, okay? A toxic cheater that wants to be in a relationship and have other people at the same time, guess who their perfect fit is? Someone who wants to be in a relationship so bad that they'll let them be treated however. They'll let them do whatever and they'll just be there, okay? You're a fit. This is where self-concept plays in, you guys, okay? Getting your self-concept together. Number one, you guys, it's going to just feel so much better and easier for you, y'all. It's going to feel so much better and easier for you to get what you want, okay? But number two, you will be a match to the thing that you're manifesting. So many people tell me, oh, I manifested the SP, but I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling like it's not going to work out. That's because your self-concept is still not where you want it to be at, okay? It's a difference between feeling like nervous, excited, like, oh my gosh, this is happening, wow, and nervous, excited, like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do now. I don't think this is going to happen. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to ruin any minute now, right? Self-concept. Okay? So choose your new identity and choose their new identity, right? So it's not enough to say, he's no longer a narcissist. He's no longer a cheater. What is he then? You want to redefine who he is, right? Who is he then? He's the most faithful, loving, and highest version of himself, okay? Which is a beautiful thing to assume anyway. When I made that assumption about my SP, it actually wasn't because I wanted to change him. This was back when we were still broken up. And I was at that point, I believe I had really already stopped manifesting him, or I was about to. But I would still think of him in a negative way, right? Think of him angry, hurt. And I had to just realize, you know what? Since I know that I'm creating, at the end of the day, I love this person. I want the best for them. I want them to be the best version of themselves. I might as well assume that. Instead of giving so much attention to who they are and what it is and this and that. Of course, if you're in a dangerous situation, you don't need to be in that, right? This is not for stuff like that, in my opinion. But choose who they are now and persist in that identity. This is who they are now. And the more that you give yourself supremacy, the more that you give your mind supremacy, that I'm the person that can affect this. I'm the version of me. I have the power. I have the ability to affect others in my reality. How they show up is 100% up to me. Okay? 100% up to me. That's something to take on, you guys. If you're going to manifest people, you need to believe that you can. Okay? So choose that new identity and persist in that. This is how it is now. This is how it is now. This is who they are now. Y'all, people change all the time. They could read a book, listen to a podcast, shit. They could stumble across my channel, right? And be like, oh, wow, like, maybe this is like, damn, maybe I haven't been an asshole. Oh, wow. That is the love of my life. I've been tripping this whole time. It happens like that, y'all. And that moment is up to you. You get to decide when that moment is for yourself. Okay? So, I'm intending that this prospers you. I do want to guide you guys a little bit into the state of having before we end. So I want you to just right now, it's 5:55. I want you to right now, just let go of everything. Something, I believe it's RJ Spina, I believe, maybe him or someone else, but they say you have no past, you have no future, you're just here now. What if you had no past and you had no future and you were just here now? Now, what if you believed that all realities are in existence now? Now, I want you guys to really feel into these words that I'm saying, really contemplate what I'm saying. What if you really believed all possible realities, the reality where you have your SP and the reality where you don't, are in existence now? The reality where he hits you up today and the reality where he doesn't are in existence now. What if you believe that? And what if you really gave yourself the supremacy and the ability to choose, right? Saying that I actually do. I have the power. I am the power that chooses which reality I experience. And here's another one. There's no time. What if you believe that there was no time? What if instead of thinking, ooh, that takes time, because it's been so long, it's going to take time for that to happen? What if there was no time and this moment was the only moment there was for anything to happen? Just ponder these, you guys. You're not trying to force anything. You're not trying to make anything happen. I'm just putting you in a state. So it all exists now. I get to choose and there's no time. Then it's done. What if you believed it was done? What if it was done? Not believed. What if it was? What if you just got a blast, freaking, I was going to say blast from the past, but future you just came and told you like, yeah, girl, it happened. that night, it's done. It really happened. You don't need to worry anymore. How does that feel in your body? And I want you guys to notice the difference between how that feels in your body of, ooh, there's nothing else to do. It's already done. I've done enough. I am enough. And the feeling of, oh my God, I have to do something. Am I doing it right? Da, 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 da. That's the difference between the middle and the end. Okay. So again, I'm intending that this prosper you. I'm absolutely sure that it will. Email me if you're interested in any of the coaching options for next month. And I'm sending you all immense, magical, amazing love. And I will see you guys in a video soon.